Alfred Wegener was born on November 1st, 1880, in German Empire. He was the youngest of the 5 children. His father was a theologian and a teacher of the classical languages. In 25 years, Alfred Wegener obtained a doctorate in astronomy. The years of the scientist's work were beginning of the 20th century, the time of the booming of almost all the fields of science. Alfred Wegener noticed that the different large landmasses of the Earth almost fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. The continental shelf of the America fit closely to Africa and Europe. Antarctica, Australia, India, and Madagascar fit next to the tip of the southern Africa. He got an idea that it was the time when all the land masses were one big continent and had since drifted apart. It was named Continental Drift Theory. He presented his work to the world on 6 January 1912. He proved his theory analyzing both sides of the Atlantic Ocean for the rock type, geological structures, and fossils. There is a significant similarity between matching sides of the continents. Another proof was flora and fauna of the Europe and American were very similar despite the fact there was a distance more than 3,000 miles between them. His ideas attracted some supporters such as Alexander Du Toit from South Africa, Milutin Milanovic in Serbia, and a geologist Arthur Holmes in Scotland. But as many progressive ideas, his theory was rejected by most of the contemporaries. As they said, continents couldn't be moved by any force weaker than God. Other reasons why the theory was rejected, Wegener couldn't explain how this drifting had started. As well, he couldn't explain what force makes the continental drift. The explanation was given by the supporter Arthur Holmes. He supposed that the continents are moving because of the convection flows in the magma. But the continental drift theory wasn't the only work of the Alfred Wegener. He has a lot of works related to meteorology and climatology. Alfred and his brother Kurt pioneered the use of the weather balloons to track air masses. They set a new record to conscious balloons flight, remaining aloft for 52.5 hours from 5th to 7th April 1906. Alfred Wegener was especially dedicated to polar research. He was involved in several expeditions to Greenland to study polar air circulation. During his 4th expedition, on 24 September 1930, although the route markers were by now largely buried under snow, Wegener set out with 13 Greenlanders and his meteorologist Fritz Loewy to supply the camp by dog sled. During the journey, the temperature reached minus 76 Fahrenheit, and Loewy's toes became so frostbitten they had to amputate with a penknife without anesthetic. 12 of the Greenlanders returned to West Camp. On 19 October, the remaining 3 members of the expedition reached Estimate. There being only enough supplies for the 3 Estimate. Wegener and Rasmus William took 2 dog sleds and made it for West Camp. They took no food for the dogs and killed them by one to feed the rest until they could run only 1 sled. While Williamson rode the sled, Wegener had to use skids, but they never reached the camp. Wegener died, and Williamson never were seen again. The expedition was completed by his brother, Kurt Wegener. Alfred Wegener dedicated the whole his life into science. Without hesitation, he put his life in the line in order to obtain some new facts, to get the evidence of his thoughts. His continental drift theory, despite not being supported during his life, is absolutely proven and greatly appreciated at the present time.